Have you noticed that everyday things like groceries, electronics, or even cars cost more than they used to? What if I told you that international politics plays a big role in this? When former President Donald Trump launched a trade war, it wasn't just a battle between governments. It had real effects on your wallet. A trade war happens when countries place tariffs or taxes on each other's imports and exports. The idea is to protect local businesses, but the reality is that prices go up for consumers. Today, we're breaking down the 10 biggest ways Trump's trade war affects your finances. From rising grocery bills to expensive gas, we'll show you exactly where your money's going and why. Stay with us until the end because some of these might surprise you. Let's start with number 10. 10. Everyday goods cost. One of the first things people noticed when the trade war started was the rise in prices of everyday items. The U.S. placed tariffs on billions of dollars worth of imports from China, and China responded with its own tariffs on American goods. This meant that businesses importing products from China had to pay extra taxes, which made products more expensive for consumers. Electronics were one of the hardest hit categories. Companies like Apple warned that the cost of laptops, smartphones, and other gadgets would go up. If you bought a new TV, a smartwatch, or even a gaming console in the last few years, you probably paid more than you would have before the trade war. Clothing and footwear brands also felt the impact, with brands like Nike and Adidas increasing their prices. Even basic household items like furniture, kitchenware, and backpacks became more expensive. 9. Gas prices increased. If you drive, you may have noticed that gas prices have been unpredictable in recent years. While many factors contribute to fuel costs, Trump's trade war played a significant role in driving up prices. One major reason was the tariffs on steel and aluminum, which increased the cost of materials used in building pipelines, oil rigs, and storage tanks. This meant that companies had to spend more on production, and those costs eventually got passed down to consumers. At the same time, China, one of the largest buyers of U.S. oil, retaliated by placing tariffs on American crude oil and natural gas exports. This created supply chain disruptions and uncertainty in global markets, leading to fluctuations in oil prices. Even if you don't own a car, you likely felt the impact in other ways. Airline fuel costs rose, causing ticket prices to go up, and home heating bills increased for people relying on natural gas. Whether you were at the pump, booking a flight, or paying a heating bill, the trade war likely made it more expensive for you. 8. Grocery bills went up. One of the biggest and most immediate effects of Trump's trade war was felt in grocery stores across the country. The U.S. imposed tariffs on foreign products, and in response, China, Canada, and Mexico retaliated with their own tariffs on American agricultural exports. The biggest targets were soybeans, pork, dairy, and fresh produce, all major products of U.S. farms. For farmers, this was a major setback. Many relied on exporting goods to China, but once tariffs were in place, demand dropped. This left farmers with too much supply and no buyers, forcing them to sell at lower prices or leave crops unused. However, American consumers didn't see those savings. Instead, grocery prices went up. Meat and seafood became more expensive, and even basic pantry staples like canned foods saw price hikes due to tariffs on aluminum used in packaging. If you've noticed that your grocery bill is higher than it used to be, the trade war is one of the reasons why. Whether you were shopping for fresh vegetables, dairy products, or canned goods, you likely paid more as a result. 7. Car prices went up. Thinking of buying a new car? The trade war made that more expensive too. Trump placed tariffs on steel and aluminum imports, which increased the cost of building cars. Even though many cars are assembled in the U.S., they rely on imported parts from countries like Japan, Germany, and China. Manufacturers like Ford and GM had to increase car prices to make up for the extra costs. If you bought a new car recently, you probably paid more than you would have before the tariffs. Even used cars became more expensive because repairs and maintenance costs went up. Mechanics had to charge higher prices because imported parts like brakes and engines cost more due to tariffs. 6. Home improvement became pricier. If you own a home or are planning renovations, you may have noticed higher costs for building materials. The trade war led to tariffs on lumber, steel, and aluminum, which caused prices to rise across the board. Construction companies had to increase prices on new homes, remodeling projects, and even minor repairs. Home improvement stores like Home Depot and Lowe's saw price hikes on everything from wood and nails to kitchen cabinets and bathroom tiles. Even appliances like dishwashers, refrigerators, and washing machines became more expensive due to tariffs on imported components. 5. Job losses in certain industries. While the goal of Trump's trade war was to protect American jobs, it ended up causing layoffs in key industries. One of the hardest hit sectors was agriculture. Many U.S. farmers relied on selling crops like soybeans, pork, and dairy to China. But when China imposed retaliatory tariffs, demand for these exports dropped. This left farmers struggling with oversupply and lower prices, making it difficult for them to stay profitable. The manufacturing sector also suffered. Many American companies rely on imported raw materials to produce goods at competitive prices. When tariffs increased the cost of steel, aluminum, and other materials, businesses had to cut expenses. Some companies moved production overseas, while others reduced staff to manage rising costs. Instead of protecting jobs, the trade war led to job losses in farming, manufacturing, and industries that depend on global trade. Workers in these sectors felt the direct impact through layoffs and financial instability. 4th, stock market volatility. If you invest in stocks or have a 401k retirement plan, you likely notice that the stock market was highly unstable during the trade war. Each time new tariffs were announced, investors reacted with uncertainty, leading to sharp fluctuations in stock prices. The market saw major drops whenever tensions between the U.S. and China escalated. Industries that relied on international trade like technology, agriculture, and automotive were among the hardest hit. Companies facing higher costs and supply chain disruptions cut spending, delayed projects, or even laid off workers. This uncertainty made investors hesitant to buy stocks, causing further instability. Even if you don't actively trade stocks, this volatility affected retirement savings and pension funds. People nearing retirement saw their investment values shrink, and those contributing to 401k plans faced more risk and unpredictability in their financial future. The trade war added significant instability to an already complex economy. 3. Travel became more expensive. Traveling got more expensive because of the trade war. Tariffs on aircraft parts increased maintenance costs for airlines, which led to higher ticket prices. At the same time, fuel costs went up, making flights more expensive. Even things like luggage and travel accessories became pricier because they often contain materials affected by tariffs. Hotels and resorts also faced increased costs due to rising prices for construction materials, leading to higher room rates over time. 2. Tech gadgets got more expensive. If you're into tech, you probably felt the impact of the trade war. Many smartphones, laptops, and gaming consoles are manufactured in China. When tariffs were placed on these imports, companies like Apple, Microsoft, and Sony had to increase prices. The cost of building gaming PCs, monitors, and accessories also went up. Whether you were buying a new iPhone, a PlayStation, or even a laptop for work, you paid more because of these tariffs. 1. Household essentials became pricier. At number 1, the biggest impact on your wallet was the increase in prices on daily household items. Many basic goods, from furniture and cleaning supplies to pet food and detergent, became more expensive because of tariffs on Chinese imports. Retailers like Walmart and Target warned that trade policies would make shopping more expensive, and they were right. Even small things like toilet paper and paper towels saw price hikes because of the rising cost of raw materials. So there you have it. Trump's trade war had a direct impact on your wallet, from gas and groceries to tech and travel. While some industries benefited, most consumers ended up paying more. Have you noticed a difference in your shopping budget because of these price increases? Let us know in the comments. If you found this video helpful, hit the like button, share this with your friends, and subscribe for more finance updates. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.